Recording in progress. Greetings, greetings, beautiful beings. So here is Gabriela and I, Roma, your transformational support. And we are sharing today our third essential plank of transformation. So all our quantum living lifestyle tribe anchor the transformation into four pillars: body, ways of being, so the way we feel about the world, the way we move, the way we feel about the body, right? How healthy we are, what do you call it, non-stagnant, right? The being, how you feel about yourself, the balance, all of your relationships with yourself and the world, romantic relationships, family relationships, right? Relationship with even finances, relationship with everything. Some people like have bad relationship with the weather. And then the last transformational pillar, business, how you express yourself here on this 3D. So this video is about the balance in all of your relationships and how to get that deep intimacy on fire. This is for my past seminar. And either it's a romantic relationship, either it's a intimacy with your child and your son or your daughter, either it's intimacy with your partner in business, right? Like how intimate you are, that's how big you might rise. So that's beautiful. Intimacy has nothing to do with sexuality only. And Gabriela will ask you to share a little bit how you shifted your definition from like intimacy, and then what really intimacy is after you walk through this transformational experience, especially in your relationships.
So yeah, I up until now I would see intimacy in a way where it was just like sexual, like with, you know, the significant other, and yeah, kind of saw it very much in a box. And being with in quantum living lifestyle and coaching with Roma, it expanded my eyes of like, oh, intimacy is also with myself, like taking myself on a date and just being with myself, and how I was choosing to pour into that relationship. And what was, I think, one of the most profound experiences was when I did take myself on a date. I went to the cafe, and then from there I went to like botanical gardens. And really, that was something previous to that time that I did that. I would have been like, I'm taking myself on a date, like going on my own. There would have been a lot of anxiety up until that point in time coming up of like, but I'm by myself, and like what if, and just thinking of what outside perspective was. Yet I wasn't in a place where I was thinking, like, how do I feel about that? How would that serve me? How would that be pouring into my cup? And then when I would do that more, and like, yes, self-care, but more so being able to, you know, enjoy your own company.
Romanticize yourself.
Right? Like, oh, I look how beautiful I look in this dress, or like I'm getting myself a cup of coffee, just what I like. And this is being able to have that expression come through you, because as you're doing that, you're learning more about, this is what I like, what I don't like. Do I really know my preferences, or is it just like the preferences that might look good to someone else, but that's not really what I want.
Nice.
So I would say that was one of the most profound relationships, was with self, and seeing how that then rippled to other relationships afterwards.
Beautiful. I love it. Love it. So yes, as we talked, if you would love to hear about the pillar of the body, right? That's the one of the planks, important ones. You do get to anchor all these higher frequencies in this body. Yet not only physical body detoxification is needed, the emotional body detoxification is needed as well. Gets to happen. That's where you go into the being. So you can go watch our being video, and every breakthrough page, right? Every pillar has a little playlist for you that we are creating on YouTube. So you can actually not only like, oh, that's what it means. Oh, okay, that's where they started it. Yet we will give you a little bit more insight of maybe for the being, there's a little meditation, right? For the balance in this playlist, you will hear Lee that somebody that coached with me for quite a while, sharing about her relationships and shift in her relationships as well. So that balance, that relationship with the rest of the world, it always, yes, trickles from the relationship within yourself. So as being, you decide, declare, and know who you are. The balance is starting rippling everything out of you into the rest of the world. So either again, it's your relationship with a man, with a mom, with a sister, or it can be relationship with things, right? So things with a relationship with your health, relationship with wealth, relationship with finances, relationship how hard world is. Because even here, you will understand that all these relationships depend on your story within. So where we start with balance, when people start working in transformation and anchoring a full shift, going from that caterpillar in the cocoon to this beautiful butterfly, that everything else is possible. What wasn't possible for caterpillar, they start believing that beautiful possibility and seeing, right? Like, okay, what kind of relationships now I want? Am I letting go of some old ones because they are not serving me anymore? Or can I get deeper intimacy in this relationship? Maybe we can shift ways of the way we're communicating and opening up, raw and honest without a protection mode at this point, right? And continue, see where it can grow, or do I just get to let it go as well? Maybe it's a relationship with some codependencies and things as well out there. So that's beautiful. So when we all start building this transformational ripple, you tune into your body, you start tuning into your being, and then you start tuning into the relationships, either with your being or either with all the other beings and the rest of the world. A lot of us started transformation with taking care of balance with the relationship with ourselves, as Gabby shared. So what do we usually do in quantum living lifestyle and balance and all these relationships? Some of us already come in.
I was going to say, thinking back to when earlier on with coaching with Roman quantum living lifestyle, it was with like appreciation messages, whether it was like a little appreciation message to self during journaling, or at one point I had like a separate journal and it was like appreciation message to Trevor, either hand it to him for him to read or him reading it. So like for a partner, that your intimate partner or a friendship, a family member, just appreciation message, like, and pouring into their cup, and you see how then it also pours back into yours, because you feel so like bubbly, giddy about like, oh, I'm appreciating them for which may have been kept in your mind, or you had that thought, yet then to express it and have it come out and through you, it's an experience you get to experience to kind of feel what I'm talking about.
Correct, absolutely. And how many times we can pick a relationship we can even work with, right? Sometimes we're gonna pick like, oh, you know what? Me and my mother and I, let's say, had a complex, right? That's in families usually goes. Let's say son and the mother, it gets closer, and the father and the son might have a little bit more complex or distance or whichever way, right? There. So it's beautiful to like, okay, what can I do here? Like, can I pour some more intimacy in this, some more appreciation in this, and literally by pouring, like you said. Sometimes we even see, I got so many messages that when somebody appreciated somebody else, they were in shock, or they almost felt uncomfortable when you start appreciating them every week. They're like, that's weird, what do you want? So then when when I hear from all of you, like, wow, it was weird. My brother literally called my mom and said, like, is she okay? Something is wrong with her. She just like poured her heart out. So I was like, how interesting, because our assumption was like, my brother knows how much I love him. My mom knows how much, of course knows, right? And then there's this big different reaction as you come in and you pour honest, authentic appreciation into them, and they're almost uncomfortable. Then you understand how not a norm was that, and how really they don't feel appreciated deeply, and how almost uncomfortable they feel when they are appreciated deeply. for what they're being, right? So that's absolutely beautiful. So hence again, that's where we start in balances. In the journals, you start appreciating yourself. If you start working on a relationship with you, and I will invite everyone, unless you have a very vivid relationship already in mind, and it's like, hey, no, that's the first one, like my marriage is falling apart, Roma, I want to go there straight, right? Because all of us, can we say, Gabriella, like again, this process is so different for everyone that, let's say, you will work more in the beginning, like on the health and yourself, right? Let's say Lee came in and she went health and business, right? Let's say somebody else walked in and their priority for that moment was the what do you call it, marriage, because it was falling apart, right? And money. And then at the end of then, we still all going through all the pillars because we are one. Physical body, emotional body, mental body makes up your energetical body, that, you know, that spirit body. Hence it's really one. So one cannot be affected without the affecting another one. So if your relationship with yourself is affected, your romantic relationship will be affected automatically. We already know that. If it starts bleeding, if you're, sometimes your business is all in and all of your relationships are bleeding. Sometimes, right, the health is great, relationships are pretty decent, right, but the finances are falling apart. Sometimes the finances are great, but the health is falling apart. And then eventually what happens, even this finances, like, right, that they need just to support the health, like it doesn't make sense, right? It's bleeding everywhere. So eventually we'll start bleeding anywhere. If you don't take care of these pillars, physical body, emotional body, mental body, your spirit, so meaning all the energetical body, and keep pouring in all of these. Your emotional body will be your relationship with yourself and with the world. And that's what literally we're talking about. So if you haven't done transformation, even if you in relationship crisis, I will always say, start with yourself. When I started, I did probably 9 months, because like every 3 months I'll shift my own visions or goals or intentions, right, that we are working on, right? We're like checking, like, oh, maybe I want something else. Ooh, maybe it's time to push those things. It's like, ooh, maybe that's not what I wanted, and I get totally fully to shift, right? So I will always invite you to start working on yourself, because the way you see yourself, that's how you're going to see the world. Everything you say about her, him, or the world is simple confession about how you operate inside of your world. So if your 4 romantic partners in the row, you know, disrespecting you, right, or not caring for you enough, or it feels like you're bleeding and you're not appreciated enough, you can guarantee that somewhere in relationship with you and you are not appreciating yourself. You are disrespecting yourself. You are selling out on yourself. Maybe you say you are not, but your actions are. Right? So let's say Gabby right now, Gabby had a mini assignment, correct? So you declaring, you went on and did an assignment, right? Yet you didn't follow through to finish it, to share it, for example, correct? So as you're declaring an assignment, I am powerful, I am enough, correct? Let me express the way I am enough. Yet your action was to still withhold it. Are your bodies aligned here that you're not enough? Or they're misaligned here that they're not enough? That they're enough, right? That's what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah, misaligned. Because with your mouth, you're saying, yes, I'm enough. But if I cannot stand up and say no, stand up and show whatever I want to show, or say whatever I want to send in the video or whatever, right? Doesn't matter. My actions just say I'm not enough.
Yeah, there's a uncorrelated. It's not,
You get it? And then usually we're like, but how he's not understanding me? I'm screaming at him that I want this. But your actions been telling you that you don't want that.
Mhm.
So you have to get a misaligned stuff, meaning you
Yeah.
have to get a guy, a business partner, or a mom right now into your
Mhm.
reality that will tell you that they will do it for you and they will not show up.
Mhm.
As simple as that, literally.
Mhm.
So again, starting with your own relationship and how we work, Gabriela kind of already spilled the beans. So I love it. Paying attention, pouring into yourself every day. It could be this much. It could be just Miro and I love you, right? It could be everyday appreciations for 30 days. Like, wow, I'm going to keep continuously appreciating myself. Longer messages, always pouring into myself, celebrating myself. That's one thing. So these are daily repetitions, constantly overriding your own mental conversation with yourself. Obviously, continuously doing that little shadow work and releasing what is that not enoughness and inadequacy. Very important to know how to take yourself on a date. Very important how to set yourself up so you have that fun day that you want, no matter on circumstances that like somebody's not taking you, right?
Yeah.
Hence, they all take themselves once a week on the date. These dates are for you to get to know yourself. These dates could be a fancy $300 steak dinner. It could be a yoga lesson that you've never, I'm going to go and learn a new skill right now. It could be pottery, right? It could be simply going and sitting in the park without meeting anyone, like without planning to meet someone and introducing and seeing like how open you can be and just chit chat with anyone that shows up in the park. It could be going for a blind walk. It could be simply taking a longer bath, yet going all in, meaning if I never have candles, I have 5 candles. If I usually have 5 candles, I have 25 candles and rose petals in my bath. Just a little extra, because then I can ask this from the world. Again, many of us wants the commitment from the world. How many of us are committed to ourselves? How many of us, Gabriela, how many times we tell partner, well, he said he's going to do that. He didn't do that. Well, he said he's going to take me to the moon. He didn't do that. How many times you say to yourself, you'll just get this little thing done for yourself and you didn't show up?
Yeah. Yeah. It's when you were talking about like, you know, doing it for yourself, like we're expecting or asking so much from outside, yet then when reflecting of like, did I even do that or ask that from myself? And I'm like, no. So how can I have that expectation of outside when I'm not even keeping the commitment or be in a place where I'm doing it for myself?
Absolutely.
And an example of that was I wanted like to have more times where my partner and I were like reading before bed, you know, we're kind of reading a book together or meditating before we go to sleep. Yet I was like, it happened this week and I was like appreciating my partner of like, oh my gosh, it's like things are like same but yet so different. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, one night we were reading together before bed and then it was like felt so just flowing and relaxing and wow. And then another night we were meditating before bed. Now we listen to subliminal affirmations as we go to sleep, and that's just the past week. Yet I began that a week or two prior for myself and was like no expectation that my partner was going to do it with me. Yet I was like, hey, I've been doing this for myself. You know, if you're open to it, we can do it together. And to see that like so potent ripple, yet I was doing it for myself. And yeah, that.
So this is so perfect. Basically, what we kind of talked with you, that was our personal stuff before we jumped on here. We went through your coaching, teacher, kids, mom, dad, kids. Correct? They don't learn from our words. None of us do. None of us do. Even you don't really hear my words if I don't have the energy to back it out. And sharing with the kid that you're loved but feeling inside unloved, it's not going to do anything for that kid anyways. Same with the partners. We can't scream them into buying us flowers. who Gabriela gets to be as the partner, as a woman, as a wife, as a friend, to have this kind of a man. Like, if he is this kind of a man, what kind of a woman he would have? What do you get to be to have this kind of a man? You know, so again, beautiful. Only by embodiment, only being exemplary, you can invite others. So we don't really need to raise kids. We don't need to teach them. Be it, they're gonna be partners the same. You don't need to tell them to teach. If you got a question, if you're loved, if you have to question yourself, if he's committed or she's committed, if you have, again, I mean, it already, because it's in the knowing, it's in your energy, it's in your standard, it's in your being, and that's beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about loyalty. Very uncomfortable things. How many of us asking for a loyal partner? All of us? Again, let's look at even one day or 1 week. And we're going to bring up obviously our experiences. Yet I invite everyone who is watching this video, thank you for being here and watching, and observing and unlearning. You know, it really, everybody's co-creating all these with us, even when they watch later. Yet, from our own example, where Gabby wasn't loyal in your life up until now, where having to be loyal to yourself, where haven't I been loyal, let's say, to myself? So for example, again, even I'm going to take this as the same assignment, right? Gabby's committed to shopping for herself for a week. Is she? Because the moment the fear came on of her being judged, she automatically sold out, pulled her loyalty out of her commitment, and said, the fear is bigger than my love for myself, than my loyalty for myself. And the fear of being not good enough is still bigger than me thinking that I can be good enough. Right? Yeah. How many people scream, please respect me, yet they kept getting disrespected, and they will stay there. So the words screaming respect me, the words are screaming, I am worthy better. How many of women or men to the partner said, I'm worth better, I deserve better, and you know it, and yet their actions, they're still there. So how can you tell me that you deserve better? You're just saying your words, but nothing in your action you did for you to show me that you deserve better. And that's what ripples out, basically, right? So in every now, there's energy that I'm emanating. So if my balance relationship, right? My relation with myself is, I want loyalty from them. I want commitment from them. My guy has to love me 10 years in a row, no matter what I am, no matter who I am. No, right? Do you want your partner to love you unconditionally? Yes. Why would you ask that from him when you can't even post a 2-minute video to your best friends, when you're already judging yourself very conditional?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. Yeah. I will not give it to my soul, but I will require everyone to give it to me. Why my mom doesn't see me that way? Oh, but every time, like, oh, okay, so, right? So again, there's no wrong or right, absolutely, and we get to experience it all. Yet, hear yourself out, everyone, as I get to hear myself out and to be aware and observe, as Gabriela does, and constantly reflect. Every time I ask for something from the rest of the world, first of all, am I being it to myself? And am I giving it fully to myself? Because then that's going to come in easy anyway. So you're not going to even need to ask. Like Gabriela just understood, like, I don't need to ask him to meditate with me. No. Oh, I don't even need to ask him to buy me flowers. We're just going to survive. Yes. If you feel as a flower, he will not even think not to get you flowers.
Yeah. And other things too, like seeing, so when you start seeing where you're rippling into your intimate relationships, and my significant other was telling me about a connection with their parent and things. I'm like, you're doing what? And then they're both talking and they're all like giggling. Oh yes, we've been they're having like a warm water with like ginger and lemon and the rising to kind of clean the detox system. I'm like, you're just telling me about this now? I want to do this too. They're like, yes, we have. And so then seeing how your ripples affect your your different relationships, and then they're rippling, and then it's just becoming more like wow, like seeing how
Magic.
much, yes, it expands, and like the mushrooms underground, how they all communicate with one another and the roots, and that's just the visual I get, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, but also just I'm lost for words almost right now.
we shared with Niole was visiting me, whatever, 2 days ago, came to see me physically, and we giggled, because we literally, like, that's where we went, and we said, when you full, like, the third eye opens up, the kundalini is you, and you're awakening and you're clearing that vessel, and the cleaner it becomes, the more Christ consciousness you're anchoring, the everyday life becomes a psychedelic trip without any psychedelics. Just the synchronicities you see, just like how the ripples you see, and this relation, the things moving, and you're like, wow, and all connected, the little web, you like literally see it almost physically. And again, that's the beauty. So again, how can you even think that Gabriella's relation with herself, Gabriella's mental conversation with herself, will not ripple into every balance? And again, balance here for us is all our connections, relationships, how do we feel loved and seen? Do we know how to express and allow other to be authentic and still feel loved and seen? The more you're into, where is the intimacy comes in? Intimacy comes in and has nothing to do with sex or sexuality, and at the same time, yes, everything to do with it, because all this energy, like even this cups and this phone is made, it's sexual energy. That's all where we are. It's like God having sex, like it's us, it's God's having sex right now, right? That's how we appear here in this matter. And I kind of lost where I was going. Oh, sexuality, yes. So intimacy. So how can you elaborate or give us your experience in your interpretation, like what then is this intimacy? Because in my interpretation, in my experiences, you can have such a deeper intimacy even with your son or your daughter, and that what means to me is really being able to be naked, metaphorically, right, like symbolically naked in front of each other, and feeling zero judgment, and always being able to be vulnerable. That's for me what deep intimacy is. And if I am rippling this into my business, into my relationships, into romantic relationships, friendships, me and my mother and I, my sister and I, right? That's literally, we're all are allowing ourselves to be most authentic, most vulnerable, raw and honest. And from there, we can build anything we want to. So not having to have any mask. That's what for me deep intimacy is. And then from this intimacy comes great sex, comes great relationships. The other way around, I don't know, maybe it works for somebody else. So go ahead.
For me, I think as I had more and more experiences with QLL and with coaching with Roma, I think intimacy for me is, being vulnerable and kind of accepting we're all on different journeys, and accepting like people as they are, and like meeting yourself where you're at. There's different experiences where, like you're going through with a relationship and there's like a trigger that comes up, yet also taking responsibility of like, hey, they're going through their own thing, their emotions coming up. I'm responsible for how I feel about this experience. And being vulnerable with yourself, which sometimes can be a little bit
Uncomfortable.
Can bring up some anxiety. Yeah, because you're like, yeah, just sitting with the emotion, yet knowing that, we have thoughts, we have emotions, yet we are not them. This is something that, the consciousness of it's experiencing them. And realizing like everything is so beautiful and okay as it is, yet it's the frames or labels that we're putting on it that then makes it more uncomfortable or more resistant. And yeah, I agree with a lot what you're saying with like the masks and
Well, can I
seeing
see into you? Can I see intimacy for me is like into me you see. Like first of all, into me I see. Because if I don't know myself, I won't see you. I will see you through the masks, through the filters. No matter what you're going to be telling me, I will see it the way I want to see it. I will see through my pain, through my wounds. When I take off my wounds, I take off my masks. When I heal my wounds, I take off my masks. When I take off my masks, I can see into me. That's the only way I can be vulnerable. How, Gabriela, would you be able to be vulnerable 2 years ago if you didn't have idea that these emotions belong only to you? Your vulnerability, maximum vulnerability was this. How dare you to do it to me? Because you felt vulnerable about it. Like you were screaming hysterically, he did it to me. Now your vulnerability level is very different because you see into you. Into me, I see.
Yeah.
Ooh, my partner's trigger has nothing to do with him. It's coming from my old programming, from my childhood. So I can come up to the partner that way. Wow, you just brought me, like the trigger just took me into the age regression, because that's what happens in the trigger. And wow, you were standing for me, but that's really was my father screaming at me, or that was that child in the school that bullied me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you were like, wow, imagine coming from here where never partners put stuff on each other, only come to share where they at and ask each other, what space can you hold for me? That's all. That's intimacy. Imagine mom coming to a child and be like, wow, your tantrum is really triggering me. Yet, thank you for killing me. Well, okay, what are those energies in my child telling me about me? And the way the child proceeds, and the way, what kind of a quantum field is my child getting? If he's throwing tantrum every 3 days, it's not about the child.
Yeah.
It's about the parent, like the adults in the house. They're overriding them. Imagine in a business, right? Like somebody's great ideas and you're still like, wow, maybe I'm not so good. Maybe I don't bring enough value, and you're a little bit not confident. Imagine being able to come from that. Oh, you can definitely, what do you call it? Relate to that, right? So Gabriela supports me so much, and it's funny because she will have one little thing that she makes it so much more complicated for herself. And it's not that she cannot do it. It just makes it more complicated for herself because that's how her brain decides to do and work. That's her programming. That's her survival. That's her like, I'm not good enough. And what are you talking about? This is complex. And no, it's not complex. And only because she'll have like, she'll support me everywhere, and she has this. And then how easy for you is to retreat and be like, I'm just not good enough.
Yeah.
Versus you and I were like, okay, this part that is not working for us, what did we misunderstand? How can we collaborate? If this is your, let's say, weak part and you really don't want to do, we're going to figure out different way. Or is it simply that we still communicating from a different dimensions, right? Like maybe you're listening to me and you're like, I can't do it, I can't do it. So you're already hearing differently, right?
Yeah.
So if you're able to be like, wow, yeah, and you go into it, you're going to tell me, wow, it just made it so much more complex for me. Like I felt like I understood, but then, and then you'll tell me, oh, I do go into the stock that I might not be able to do it, like, or I do belittle myself. And if you're open like this, there's no ever issue in the business. What's the problem? Okay, so we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna do it like this. I can support you in this. For now, leave this. Yes, it's very easy because we can come from intimacy. Into me, I see. Into you, I see. If into you, I see. You, into me, you see.
It's the loop, like a feedback loop. Yeah.
Yeah. Into me, I see. Intimacy. Into you, I see. Into me, you see. That's it. So we're all seeing through, basically, meaning I am allowing, and there's no need to hide. I want to see through you. I get to see through you. Get to see through me. Because if I am trying to hide, again, what am I putting out in the world as a frequency, as a ripple? What am I putting out? Not only inadequacy for myself, but again, whenever I touch, the partner of mine now feels inadequate. The mother of mine feels inadequate. The kids in the school that I work with feels inadequate. All of my coaching feels inadequate because that's the ripple I'm putting out anyways. So anything I touch, that's what happens. Right? So again, that's such a beautiful pillar, and it's one of pillars I say that really can feed us and amplify us and level us up so high. Because do you see, like, sometimes going through your own awakening, right? Like you're working and it's hard work and everything, and then suddenly you start seeing this light and you feel a little bit lighter here, and you start to rise in love with yourself, and then suddenly this relationship come in, and that seemingly small shift, but it gives you so much, like this little meditation and reading a book, right? Like, wow, what's happening? Wow, what's happening? And that's the beauty of transformations. You don't have to go, and in fact, I will always invite not to go and prioritize all the pillars right away. No, no, no. You know, you don't want to be like, okay, next 6 months, I'm getting certification in the body for yoga. And then for the being, I'm getting certification in the light language. And then for the balance, I am going to date every week, 3 dates until I find a boyfriend. And then business, I got to build a new business right now. No. You get it? Like, okay, I'm gonna trickle in all of them. I'm gonna keep pouring and clearing all of them. Yet I will have a little bit more of a priority where there's a little more focus for me, right? Like, okay, so right now I'm working on my relationship with myself. Now the focus is a little bit more on the business. Okay, now I'm gonna start focusing on dating or elevating my romantic relationship and my bodies itself and my being. I've kind of got into meditations already, so it doesn't have to be. So again, not to overwhelm yourself. Yet this pillar of your balance will amplify. Can you see, Gabriela, that I don't know if you agree yet. If you do, you do. If not, for me, it amplifies everything I do, every win I have, every celebration I have, every shift I have from my own process as transformation. Literally, the balance for me amplifies it all. That's how it feels for me. Because you see that ripple in others, and again, ripple is always bigger because the stone, it's here. The energy come out here. The ripple in the water, the first is smaller, the second is bigger, the third is even bigger. Hence, it opens almost like how huge your heart opens up when you see a ripple coming back from your partner, right? Yeah, big expansion as well, because again, it's a ripple that's coming back, meaning multiplied energy, right? That's what I say. Whatever you put out, it always comes back and more. Yeah, because again, that's how it goes. Really, you keep putting out the alignment, the strong, authentic, deep alignment gonna come back. You keep putting out misalignment, the bigger gaps with the bigger misalignment will keep coming back. Share whatever's coming up.
I was gonna say, like, I was thinking, I brought up my sister and how, like, I wanted so much, wanted a deeper connection and relationship with her, yet it was taking off the masks of like what our experiences up until now, like as adults connecting. There was one distinct moment where I was her relationships with like wanting a like an intimate partner, me opening up of like some heavier experiences that I had of like, hey, this is where I was at, right? Just venting, but being just really vulnerable and like crying and like being okay with however I was being perceived. And the way she was looking at me, it was like, wow, like just like seeing into me. And then after that, I think that was like a big, like I think of like a egg cracking open, because since then things have like a shift happened. Yet it was like me stepping into being like, hey, I'll take I want to take the first step. Like I want to create from like right here. We went through all of this stuff, whatever past.
Yeah.
Yet can we like start make a new commitment of where we want to be from this moment. And it's kind of grown from there. yet no expectation of like how it needs to look or how, you know, there's yes, a desire of what we want it to be. Yet just accepting of like, this is, yeah, that we want the best for each other.
And again, everything you want
reconnect.
from her. Yeah, and everything you want from her, you
Reconnecting.
get to be that first as well. So beautiful. Thank you for taking that first step. Thank you for committing, and thank you for being that vulnerability in front of her, so even she could see into. And again, what a beautiful and different experience when you really allow someone see through you, into you, right? And again, how did it make you feel after that? Was there a small space in your relationship? Yes. Was there a deeper connection? Yes. The same you, even with this little video, it's going to be a bigger space for you and you, and a deeper connection with you and you, automatically, just by you doing that little step.
Yeah.
Like send, you know, again, no pressure, you do you, yet that's the ripple. So you're saying, and we're supporting everyone here, if you desire and if you're open and if you're ready. 4 pillars of transformation: body, being, balance, business. That's how 4 B's. That's how we talk, right? That's how we define them per se. You don't have to define them the same. You can say balance is a relationship if you want to. Yeah. Again, body, other video, being, it's already other, balance. The profoundness of all of it, how it's going to multiply everything in your life, it's immense. Yeah, you're the one that gets to start doing those steps. So either this relationship is you and you in the beginning, if you don't have a great relationship with yourself, because that's anyways going to ripple into everything. If you already worked on a relationship with yourself, maybe you get to work on a relationship with your mother, sister, romantic partner, lover, maybe simply going to start dating, actually, right? Like I've done it all, like from the dates to building actual relationship, to doing a relationship with my mother, to building a relationship with my friend, building a relationship with my business partner, and so on. And usually, Gabrielle again already shared. So every day little appreciation notes, every day a great word, every day basically pouring into these relationships. Either it's with yourself, either with romantic partner or business, something that you would actually eventually want to take out. It's your deposit. You're pouring into it, and then that's what you have. And then taking that partner once a week on a date. Ooh, like right now, tell me, Gabriella, no matter if you're dating for a month, 2 years, 30 years, having already 4 kids, either it's a small family, either it's a big family, which family? Either it's religious, not only, right? Like I dated a Jewish, like Israeli, right? So every Friday is Shabbat dinner, and I always used to laugh. I'm like, it's not about Shabbat dinner for me. It's about that everybody sits down without any phones, without any distractions, and are actually interacting intimately. And once a week, it's not a question. We're all gathering together. Like that's beautiful, right? So can you create these kind of rituals within your relationships? And which family shouldn't sit down? Which couple doesn't get to sit down once a week without any distractions? Undivided attention. Ooh, that's another big thing in our, because we don't even hear each other, right? How many times we talk, and because you're listening through the filters, you can't even hear each other. So undivided attention and sitting down. So meaning taking each other on these dates, making those romantic baths, salt baths, allowing yourself clocking out, like, you know what, every Saturday, or actually get up, clean up, go wash her. We're gonna stay all day in bed. We're gonna do a Netflix marathon. We're gonna keep cooking and delivering to each other to bed food today. Well, that's what we're gonna do special today, whatever that is, right? So keep allowing yourself pour into these, and then again keep checking in on that reflection, whatever results you have or you don't have. Maybe it's physical, maybe it's energetical, because sometimes you'll feel energetical first, right? But then the physical result. And at the end of that, keep reshifting in every moment. Okay, I am giving this all in. I see nice result. Oh, I don't see result. What am I else like missing here? Where's my blind spot? So yes, the balance and the relationships in general, that the same with finance, the same with money. Gabriela, how do you work on the financial balance and relationships? Journaling, rewriting, appreciating, checking in where you don't feel worthy, checking in, like if I want money to know, like my boyfriend to know, my mom to know that I want love, and they get to call me and support me, I know that I get to be that standard. I know I get to check in, like, am I afraid of this? Am I afraid to ask? Am I already feeling not supported, right, to begin with? So the same, money, rewriting and overwriting that story and checking in. Why I think it's not enough. Why I think the life is hard. Like, so very, very, one of my favorite planks. I love body, you know that I love being, yet balance is one of my favorite planks of transformation to work on, because again, I see the awe in most people's eyes, especially when, you know, I have two partners, romantic partners. Like, I have husbands that call me because their wives work with me, right? And they're like, oh, what did you do to her? Who is she? And nothing was done. I do nothing. You do it, right? You do it yourself, because again, healer doesn't heal. I provide a frequency that your nervous system can step into if you decide to. You know? So, okay. Anything else before we finish the video of balance? Anything else that comes up for you to share with the relationships?
I feel being okay with, like, when you initially kind of embark on this journey, especially with the balance, there's what from my experience, it was like a lot of resistance, and I'm like, for myself, appreciation message for self. I'm like seeing my handwriting in the journals, and I'm like, there was a lot of resistance there. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Being okay with it and using that as the information of like, wow, okay, this is where I'm at, where I'm having a lot of resistance in appreciating myself in just a one sentence of gratitude, and continuing to still proceed and to pour. And then it becomes less resistance and more of like, yes, I do appreciate myself, even though I still have some resistance now. I've done so much work up until this point that it went from here to now here to here. Because then that also ripples into other areas. So just meeting yourself where you're at.
This is amazing. And again, let's say, I want to pull up the intimacy on the website. Yet, another acknowledgement right there. If I am feeling so much resistance by writing that one sentence out that I am fantastic, how can I sit in front of my partner and scream at him? That doesn't make me feel fantastic.
It's such an awareness of, like, for me it was, wow, up until like that point, or then how I was putting my emotions as like responsibility on others, and the journey of, I'm responsible for my emotions. I'm responsible for, if someone's triggering me, being in a place where I can express of like, it's what you said, I took it on me, or it triggered something from like age regression and things, or this emotion's coming up. It's not your responsibility. Yes, maybe I ask you for support, but I'm the one who's experiencing it. And this is this is what I'm feeling. Empowering yourself is what it comes down to.
Yes, and the funny thing is, well, not the funny thing. What are the ways as well to get supported from, let's say, partner? Either it's mom. It could be mom. It could be partner. Whatever. So balance relationship. For example, my mom and I, we have a rule. If we call each other and one of us feel like, talking a lot, and like, or not, like if I feel she needs to talk it out, and let's say maybe I'm not in the place to hear it out. Maybe I'm like, oh, wait. This is a lot. I've already worked all day, right? Or maybe sometimes I'm like, I don't even know, like, do I now shift her? Do I support her? Or do I just listen? We ask. We ask each other, okay, get it? How can I support you? Do you want me just to hear you out? And like my mom will say, yes, just listen. I'm just gonna blah, blah. And then she starts giggling 15 minutes later, like I let her talk it out. I will do that with friends even. You know, how can just create a space right now? I don't need you to answer. I don't need anything. Yes, I know that it sounds even silly because it's my ego is screaming right now. Are you okay? I'm gonna scream. I'm not screaming on you. I'm just gonna scream next to you. Lee will do that. Like, okay, go ahead. She will actually sit in the sofa like this. Sometimes she will even grab the phone, and I'm just walking, facing in front of her, and bam, bam. And 5 minutes later, like through the tears, whew, okay, done. I'm done. Thank you. Like, little, how do you want me to support you? Or sometimes like, wow, it's weird. It's been 2 hours. Okay, I would like a shift. Let's shift. Support me to shift, right? Whatever that is. Love me anyways. Right? That's literally what it's like. Hey, can I be that? And you okay with that? Like, really, that's what we're asking, really. To allow each other to be that. So that's absolutely beautiful. Keep getting used to, and with every individuality will be different ways for you dealing with these kind of things, different ways that you can support. One people will be like one person will ask different support than rather the other being, right? So that's beautiful as well, to like kind of notice, acknowledge where is everyone and what's happening. I love it. I went in really quick into a gap recognition, into intimacy on our little thing, and go as well. So besides this playlist, that this video gonna be first on balance about relationships, I will keep collecting in this playlist everything about relationship that either came from coaching, as well. Maybe we'll do even more intimacy seminars or anything. It will go there. And as well, you have a library and PDFs that has a lot of shadow work and self-inquiry prompts already ready for you to go, with all the questions that you get to sit down and ask yourself, what is that ideal romantic relationship? What is that ideal relationship with yourself? Because again, if you cannot freely say that you're absolutely, completely beautiful, that you're absolutely, completely amazing, even when you're goofy, you don't get to ask it from the world. You do not get to ask from others to see that in you if you don't see that in you. Can we say that? So the first thing with balance will be for you, whatever you want from the world, you get to see it in you first. Okay. So here's, I looked at this gap, but I'm not gonna go, there's new questions that just came up, so I'm gonna share these. So for example, one thing what Gabby shared, go right now into the journals and give yourself a huge appreciation note and see how easy it is to write about yourself, write all the great things and feel how easy the pen dances on the page. If it doesn't, you're not fully aligned to what you asked. You asked to be looked at as a pretty, attractive, handsome, empowered, right? Loved, supported. If you cannot write it down in a sentence that you are that, misalignment, gap right there. You get to close it. Another question. If you asked to be respected, how many of us ask for respect? If you right now cannot say no to something, it could be a bad habit and codependent addiction. It could be a relationship that is not serving you. If you right now cannot cut it off just like that, because you know that you can't ask from somebody else any respect, because you're the one that's disrespecting through your habits, your body, your being, your balance, your beautiful vessel. You are the one that's staying in the relationships that you've been bleeding through, and you still cannot say no, meaning you don't even trust that you really deserve and you're worthy of something better, although you're going to keep screaming that the partner has to give it to you. If you have to ask your partner 3 times in a row to give you anything, check if you can leave the situation. If you can't, meaning you don't even trust that you can have it. Because if this partner is not giving, but I know I deserve it, Will I not know that there's another partner that can give me to me and I can give it to myself? Will it not be easy for me to walk out?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can't walk out, if you can't say no to whatever that is, even cigarette, like, I love my respect me, I'm how, like, but you are going and sabotaging yourself. Like, why would somebody come into your life would not sabotage you? You're sabotaging yourself as well. Why do you say you're worthy if you're saying, if you're doing everything that you're not worthy? Gap. So if there's something that you're disrespecting yourself with and you can't say no to it as well, up until now, you're not really allowed to ask for that full, complete, unconditional respect to you from the rest of the universe. Because again, it's the same, Gabriela, right? What do you mean? I'm unconditional love. They get to respect me no matter what. Gabriela, is it okay for you to be goofy? No. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, at this point, anytime you're goofy or anytime you're in fear, we're gonna giggle at you. We're gonna bully you as well because you don't even know it. You scream it and you say it, but your actions telling me your body doesn't know it. Because the knowing happens in the body. If you cannot take action and you say you know it, you don't know it. I know I deserve a better relationship. 11 years later, I know I deserve a better relationship. Well, you don't know it. You heard it in telenovela. And you're repeating the sentence that you don't know what it means. If you don't know what it means, it doesn't resonate in your energy within your body. Your world cannot give it to you. You have no resonance of the respect for yourself in your body. You have no resonance of unconditional love for yourself in your body. You have no resonance of seeing yourself beautiful in your body. Nobody can see you that way. So whatever resonance we have in our bodies, that's what we're gonna get and attract and only be able to perceive. So maybe this partner is actually most loving. Maybe this partner even does the best he can. Yet if you not feeling intimate with yourself, if you are not good enough, if your emotions and feelings are always somebody else's responsibility, even
thank you.
if he's giving you the best, you will still not see it or feel it. Can we say that?
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Gabriela, thank you so much for jumping on here. And it's beautiful because today we did have her partner sitting by her while she was coaching. Yesterday we had another, or day before again, client coming in that her husband, now her partner, started to coach as well. And the shares that you both have, the ripples that you're both are being, the energy that you're emitting, and these masculine divines, thank you for coming in so beautifully and strongly. And we're all coming into union, you know, as your feminine is balancing out within both energies within you, saying he's dancing with you. So that's my biggest appreciation to you, Gabriela, and biggest appreciation to all of you that are allowing and open to that intimacy, that are being vulnerable, no matter how it looks, no matter how it feels, you keep stepping into, because that's how you're aligning to that most authentic relationship anyways, meaning most authentic relationships, not only with yourself, with your friends, with your mother, with your grandma, with your romance, with your lovers, whatever you want. And that's the beauty. So thank you for being that. And as always, so these videos are on YouTube with the little playlists. We are talking here about 4 pillars of transformation that we fully, completely are responsible and take care of. And that's how we shift everything: body, being, balance, and business. Today, we talked about the balance. If you are intrigued, go watch our body and being videos. And they're all are connected and linked to our website and breakthrough page. And the breakthrough page allows you to set up a little structure of your body, being, balance, and business to take care of every day, right? And then the library on our website has more of prompts for journaling, for shadow work, and so on. And we will continue growing with you as we're growing within here as well.
Mhm.
And we will continue rippling that out as well as much as we can, the way we are able to share as authentically as we know how to. And we trust the supports. If you do have any questions, please let us know. So website, quantumlivinglifestyle.com, library for all the work to see how intimate you are with yourself, how big of an ego is standing in your romantic relationships, and utilizing that breakthrough to set a little bit of the flow and understand those 4 pillars of transformation that can profoundly shift your life. Gabriela, anything else?
I was gonna say appreciation for Roma and for Quantum Living Lifestyle. And what's coming is like having this profound foundation and blueprint, and then holding space for all of the members and for the website, and seeing like how powerful the ripple can be just by standing in authenticity, standing in this is what's possible. Are you open to it and accepting where everyone's at? You know, if it's for you, great. If it's you want to observe from afar, it's beautiful and it's magical. However, someone chooses to proceed. As well as another thing was coming up in library, we also are expanding and now are part of Patreon. So if you want to get more curious, you can join our monthly membership on Patreon. Yes, yeah, as well.
Yes, it's a 7-day for a 7-day free trial for everyone at any time, so you can check it out. And what I decided to do, to have all my master classes recordings there, special events there, some extra coachings there. Gary and I have another powerful being that comes in with some light language meditations there as well. And we'll continue having some more live events, Q&As, interactive events, master classes, and so on. So yeah, keep watching. So yeah, Patreon right now is a 7-day free trial. Go watch as many classes as you can, and then you can bounce back and like bounce off if you want to, no problem. And go ahead for it. Or it's $13 a month really, and you'll continue having all this library of all the little tweaks. It's like literally this is experiential stuff because we're sharing everything that we're walking through. Thank you so much, Gabriela, for reminding me that. We love you. You are definitely I don't need even to say it. We don't get to say it, really worthy or deserving of the most profound, authentic, deep intimacy and unconditional love, because you just are. We don't need even to repeat it, really, right? Yet if you don't know, yes, you are, because you are intimacy. You are vulnerability. You are the love that you're looking for. So be that commitment, be that loyal, be that love that you're looking for, and you will set yourself up for a win. And not only the ripple is immense, you will set your partner up for a win. You will set your family up for a win, your tribe, your business, your community, and your neighborhood up for a win. Like your relatives, basically. So thank you for being that. We talked black sheep and coming and breaking through all the limitations and emanating a very different, limitless light. Rather, let's stay limits. What do you call it? Let's stay limiting. Yes, exactly. So unlimited. Yes, thank you. And you will see us pretty soon. I am traveling quite a bit. I'll talk to everyone from Lithuania with the next week. So we might skip a week or two while we record the other video. Yet, if you do have any questions as well, please email us, roma@quantumlivinglifestyle.com. Gabriela, you might check in my emails as well for the next few weeks. With any questions or even asking for a video, we can make a video from our own experiences. And that's it. Love you. Be the intimacy that you want. Bye. Bye.